those Toronto sports teams.
Oh man, don't even talk to me about it.
Welcome back for episode 11 of the Screen Therapy Podcast. I'm Charlie Rogers. I go by SeeJayAre online. And as always, I'm joined by Nick Steinberg.
Hey, happy to be here with you today.
Yeah, reeling from the terrible performance of our teams yesterday.
Oh, Toronto sports teams, don't get me started. You know, playoff time, it's just misery.
Right. You know, with the Raptors specifically, I expect this to happen, right? So I never let myself get too excited and too high about our prospects in the playoffs. I'm always expecting it to come, and it's almost just like a bonus if we end up winning the game.
Right.
For the Raptors now, we are 1-10 in game ones of playoff series.
That's not great.
So it's a pretty much guaranteed loss,
but it's
even
a 7-game
at home.
series. So.
Right. So I still have complete confidence that we will win this series, but it's definitely putting yourself in a really crappy position to lose that first game at home. It lets the team into the series and let them feel like they can actually win.
And it was a close one, right?
Right. They played well most of the game, but I got to hand it to Orlando. They're a pretty good team.
Yeah, but it's tough for top-seeded teams, right? So much expectation. I mean, the Raptors this season too, people are really expecting things to happen because they don't have to go through LeBron, right? Yeah,
and they're expecting things to change. We got rid of DeRozan, who's terrible in the playoffs. The problem is we still have Kyle Lowry, who went 0 for 8 last night and got destroyed by a backup point guard who was almost out of the league a while back, and who the Raptors had and cut. So an embarrassment by Kyle Lowry, but we're totally used to this. That he's got some major psychological issues when it comes to the playoffs.
Playoffs are such a different beast. I mean, I'm not following the Raptors too closely. It's more about the, Maple Leafs for me.
Yeah.
But, the Thursday was the game one against the Boston Bruins, who are like their playoff nemesis.
Absolutely.
And, Toronto had a great game on Thursday. It came out, I think, destroyed Boston. And then the opposite happened last night. Boston came out, they adjusted, and just dominated them. Nazem Kadri took a stupid penalty in the, dying moments of the series, and now I think he's going to be suspended for the rest of the series again.
It's a very tough draw for the Leafs to have to face Boston. Boston just always seems to get the upper hand.
They always seem to have their number. Yeah, it's an exciting rivalry though. As much like you really feel that you're like, I hate Boston, but you're also like, man, maybe we could do it, And it's like if they beat you, it's like, well, yeah, that's what they do, right? So. I mean, they're going back to Toronto for the next game, or for the next 2 games, so hopefully they can get, back on track.
But... And then there's the Blue Jays, this is going to be definitely a throwaway season.
Oh yeah, but they won a game. They were the only Toronto sports team to win yesterday.
Now they're still well below 500, right?
Yeah, they're not. Nothing's going to happen this year. It's all about. Rebuilding.
Right.
Guerrero Jr. is going to come up soon.
The problem is I have no confidence in this management team to be able to rebuild
You're not the only one. Yeah.
No, it scares me. So that's our Toronto sports talk to lead this episode off.
Sorry for fans of other markets.
Right. This is stuff that we're into, and this is kind of what our podcast is about. And we made this podcast with the idea of just talking about whatever we felt like talking about, and sometimes it's sports and Toronto sports specifically.
Hey, if you guys want us to do a sports segment,
let us know.
Maybe it'll just be very Toronto focused.
If you want us to do a Kitchener sports segment, we could talk about.
We won't do that. No, I don't even know what's happening with Kitchener sports. It's so bad. Hey, I think the Titans are in the playoffs. They're like a basketball team.
Yeah,
sure. I don't know. Yeah.
Anyways, on to stuff that you're probably more interested in. Let's kick it off with some interesting Star Wars announcements over the past few days at Star Wars Celebration, I think they're calling it, in Chicago.
It's funny because I had completely forgotten this was happening.
Right,
and I thought,
me too.
And then when I saw it, it's like, oh, I wonder if they'll show a trailer for Episode 9. And then I think within that same hour, it was posted. And I was like, okay, cool, teaser trailer. So... they're calling it The Rise of Skywalker, which I do not like this title, but I think it's a cool one for, getting people, generating theories and ideas, and there's already a whole bunch of theories, both good and bad, online.
I mean, Star Wars titles they've been worse, so, I'm fine with it. I'm not I don't love it, but...
No.
I mean, there's not a whole lot of precedent there for... You know what I mean? There's been some weird names before, so...
Yeah, for sure. I find it weird that they're... I wish they would just go Star Wars Episode 9
Right.
The Rise of Skywalker. They haven't done the episodes like in the official titles, I feel like.
Interesting. So what were your thoughts on the trailer itself?
Okay, so I think this will be an interesting discussion because both of us have, I feel like, very different thoughts on where the franchise is at right now. I was a really big fan of The Last Jedi, and I realized that is a very, divisive movie, and you were not. So you're going into this really, I think, with lowered expectations for Episode 9 because you thought, Last Jedi was a letdown. You didn't like where it took things.
Actually, maybe my expectations aren't lowered. Now that I feel pretty good knowing that it's in J.J. Abrams' hand. Sure. I don't know if that's like a thing that, like, I don't know if people love J.J. My opinion is that I think he did a great job with The Force Awakens as a bit of a reboot. Really enjoyed it. And I just think things went to hell with Rian Johnson. I think he tore down all the stuff that JJ had built up and did a bunch of really strange things that I don't know where they're gonna. I feel like this movie's gonna have to do like damage control for all the stuff that happened in this middle episode, and I think in the bigger scheme of things, it's gonna end up. There's gonna be like this weird middle point of this trilogy that I think could have been a good Star Wars trilogy and washed like the taste from our mouth of the prequels, but. With that last movie, to me, I'm like, oh god, this is the prequels all over again.
Right. Now, do you think that there's a chance that instead of, Abrams just going back and, let's say, fixing everything that sort of went wrong in The Last Jedi, instead he
just ignores?
like, let's say he goes with that stuff, like whatever was being set up in The Last Jedi, and it kind of you start to see more of the bigger picture, let's say, by the end of Rise of Skywalker. Do you think, like, your opinion could change? It's like, oh, maybe that was a good choice or something. It's hard to see right now, maybe, because we don't know
I know what you're saying,
where the end is going to be.
And I agree that that's probably what will happen for a lot of things, but there's some things you can't fix. With the stupid lightsaber flip, you can't go back and fix that. All of a sudden, it's like this, ba-dum-bum, like Star Wars thing.
Oh, like, the Luke Skywalker thing. I was like, what? Man,
there's some stuff that you just.
I love that part. It's weird, right?
I don't know.
I like. I
don't know.
Okay, that's what I really like about The Last Jedi, though, is, you can't say that I think they made a completely, bland, run-of-the-mill Star Wars movie, which, for me, Force Awakens kind of went into. Okay, maybe not bland, but it was more. It felt like we'd been there before. Whereas, like, Last Jedi, it's like maybe the reason...
I get that argument, but I enjoyed that part of it. Almost like, yes, it was
being
very
familiar,
similar. Almost like, I enjoy that. I'm not saying, like, The Force Awakens is, like, the greatest movie, but I definitely liked it better than...
Last Jedi.
Last Jedi. There was just a lot of weird stuff in The Last Jedi, like the whole casino thing, and they were basically just looking for things for Finn to do. It was like, it felt like it was just kind of like, hey, we need something for him to do. Go get this thing, and then it ended up not needing it, and that was a whole wasted storyline. There was just some weird stuff that I was like, oh, man.
The casino part is interesting for me because I agree with you. I think it's probably the weakest part of that film, but I think what it's like, I find it's interesting in terms of sort of like the themes it's wrestling with. Like, it's like exposing this kind of seedy, like, rich class in the Star Wars universe, and it's like, hey, it's not just about good versus evil and things like that. But I feel like it's kind of a boring sequence. I don't really like that, the sequence where they're riding those big stupid animals, and I don't know. It was.
I will tell you that the beginning of The Last Jedi, I was so invested. That whole Poe scene. I know that there was some weird stuff with like
the comedy
stuff. That came up after that, like, hey, this is a place that's void of gravity, so how do they drop those bombs? And they hit, stuff like that. But I know it's a Star Wars movie, right? So I can get past that.
It's never been a hard science universe.
But just that action-y start with, and I love the character Poe Dameron. I really love his character. Yeah. And I was invested. I was like, yes, I was so into it. I was so pumped. So love the beginning. I just wasn't a big fan, and I hope JJ is able to, rectify the issues that I had, and or at least make me forget about them.
Okay, that's fair.
And save the series in my
Okay, yeah. I wanted to just briefly touch on sort of the title itself and what sort of the theories are right now, because it's Rise of Skywalker, right? But where we're at in the trilogy, all Skywalkers are dead. I mean, Luke died.
There's another problem I had.
Okay, that Luke died. Okay, yes.
That was just weird. Remember I texted you and I was like, wait, did Luke just die? He's like, he's just sitting on this rock, and also needs to say, and that's it. I'm like, wait, is he dead? I'm like, what the heck?
What the hell was
just
that?
Like that. It was like the most anticlimactic death. Is just like just faded away. It's like, wait, is he dead? Yeah. So okay. So yeah. What are the theories? I haven't heard much chatter.
Yeah. There's like a theory that Rey was a Skywalker all along or something like that.
Another problem I had with the last one. Rey. They're just like, your parents are just like nobody's that no one cared about. Sorry, move on.
But see, this is getting at like kind of where I'm thinking they might go with this is that Skywalker, it's not like the name isn't supposed to be almost like taken literally in it. It's more like this is the Jedi are gone.
Yep.
And Skywalker is like almost this like new philosophy, like where she is a Skywalker, but she's not like it's not like about lineage and like your blood and like things like that. It's more like
taking up the torch of the Skywalker legacy
because
kind of thing.
Yeah, because that was the thing.
The leader.
Yeah, with like Last Jedi, I really liked. It was saying like, hey, it's like anybody can be, strong with the Force or whatever. You don't have to be born into this like, big family, whatever. Anyone could do it. So
is there still a chance that like it come out? Yeah. It could come out that Kylo Ren was like just lying, and really her family is somebody good.
I mean, of course, I think
that's
what
I want to happen.
Yeah, I mean, we are kind of taking him at his word, right? Yeah. That it's like, oh yeah, they're nobody, right? And he's like just saying that, but but we saw Luke saying oh the Jedi they had tons of problems, like they let the universe get taken over by the Empire. Like, why do we need them anymore? Mm-hmm. So it's like Skywalker, it could be just this, I don't know, new unspoken way to
or it could have something to do with Luke,
or it could
coming
be
back
he could come back from the dead and whatever.
Well, he could be like the Obi-Wan thing where he's kind of like in Luke's
the
head.
Force ghost kind of thing.
Yeah,
I think we'll see that.
Probably happen,
I think Mark Hamill is like confirmed that he's in the movie. I mean, we hear his voice.
So he'll be in like Rey's.
Right, he could be like guiding her, maybe.
I think that'll happen.
Do you think the Emperor is going to come back? Because we hear his laugh at the end of the trailer.
I thought it was confirmed. I thought
I
just read something about that. I could have sworn I just read something about that. I don't know. I think so. Yes.
Yeah. I don't know, like, quite how I feel about that. I guess it depends on how it's handled.
Well, what happened with the Emperor? I'm trying to remember now.
I mean, you got chucked down the, I don't know,
thing
in Return of the Jedi. Remember, like, Vader picks him up, throws him down the chute, and, dies with the Death Star or whatever.
Thinking of timelines. Okay, that'd be interesting if he somehow came back, right?
Yeah. You're just saying...
was he hanging on to the metal thing like Luke was that time? He's like been hanging there forever?
He's just been hanging there in like rubble of the Death Star for like 50 years or whatever.
Somebody picked him up.
Hey, it could be, maybe Kylo Ren
got him. Flashback to the point where he's hanging there and I don't know. Somebody picks him up off the bottom of the
I'm hopeful for it. I feel like it would
I am too.
Yeah.
I'm definitely looking forward to it. I just you know what I said.
Yeah, I know. Stay tuned for later this year when we'll find out if Charlie's still a Star Wars fan or if the Rise of Skywalker makes him hate Last Jedi even more.
Yeah,
never know.
So with this announcement at this event in Chicago, we also got a teaser trailer for the upcoming EA Star Wars video game titled
Star Wars Jedi: Fallen Order. Yes. I know. I was like, I had to look up the title again. I'm like, what is it again? I know Jedi, something Fallen Order.
So I didn't actually see the teaser trailer. Right. I don't know what this game is, really. I don't know what type of game it is. I feel
like you're going to like this, like what it is. So it's made by Respawn, who did Titanfall, Apex Legends.
Okay,
and it's
already?
It's a single player only, story-driven action game. They show Jedi wall running in it, so it looks like, maybe... I don't know if it's... I think it might be third person, though. They don't show any actual gameplay.
Player only.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I did like some of the single-player stuff that they did in Battlefront 2. I liked, I thought that was kind of cool. So maybe that with a little bit more action, like a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, world traversal that Respawn's so good at.
Yeah.
Maybe a little faster paced stuff. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. So... from what I understand, the story, it takes place sort of just, in between Revenge of the Sith and like A New Hope. So it's after that whole, Order 66 is given, they're wiping out the Jedi. You play as a Jedi Padawan who manages to like escape the Purge. And And so it's sort of like you on the run from the Empire.
Cool.
Yeah, it sounds like really cool. Kind of like survival elements.
So no multiplayer
worlds.
in there.
No multiplayer.
How are they going to shoehorn transactions?
Apparently, there's going to be no loot boxes, no microtransactions, and I love the irony of this being an EA game, and they're like really doubling down on that. Like, guys, no microtransactions, no loot boxes. We're listening to you.
Yeah, this is when they're finally going to try and get some goodwill back from fans. I mean, we've talked about this many times, but Apex Legends, I think, was a win for EA finally.
For sure. Yeah.
Definitely excited for this one. When are we looking at here for timeline?
November 15th.
Oh wow, this year.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
I know, I'm already like pumped just from that, okay, it's going to be a single player game, story driven, no, stupid microtransactions, anything like that. It's like, it's weird that we're at a time where it's so rare to get a game like this. Like, It feels, I'm like, is Sony publishing this?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm
definitely
on board.
Looking forward to this one.
I want to, maybe wait until I see some actual gameplay, but in terms of like a reveal trailer, pretty exciting stuff.
Cool. So kind of sticking in the Star Wars universe a little bit, but Disney.
Yeah, wow, what a week for Disney. So Disney finally, officially unveiled their Disney Plus streaming service.
Okay, so all I know is the price, right? $6.99 a month, I'm guessing US.
Yeah.
$70 for a year, which is totally fair compared to the other ones.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know anything else about it. Did they go into what's going to be coming and what's going to be on there?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So, yeah, like you said, the price, I mean, that is really meant to undercut Netflix. Like, this is directly going against Netflix.
Yep.
They're coming for them. And it's $2 cheaper than Netflix's most basic plan. And I think that's like the one where you don't even get like HD content or whatever. There's because Netflix I think still has like a $9 or $10 a month kind of plan.
Okay.
So right there, it's like, wow, they're really offering. Like, I think it's gonna be the cheapest streaming service on the market, like in terms of Hulu.
Right, I can't think of
like
any.
that. I can't think of one that
I have almost all of
falls
them.
under that. And just like the sheer amount of content. I mean, they haven't confirmed everything yet, but day one, which will be November 12th of this year, they're gonna have nearly the entire Pixar, Marvel, and Star Wars catalogs available.
Okay, sorry, what date? What was the date?
November 12th.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, you're going to be able to go back, watch old Star Wars movies, old Pixar stuff. I'm assuming that there's going to be a lot of like the old like Disney classics too. Like I would think like the animated
I hope
ones.
so.
I hope so too. Like that's one of the main reasons I want this, is to go back and watch some of those. And then like the Marvel movies too, which have been slowly being pulled from Netflix. I looked the other day and I think there's only like 4 of them now.
It's hard to find movies on Netflix at all, really, anymore.
Yeah.
It's all just their own content.
It's their original content, right? But speaking of original content, I mean, Disney's got a heck of a lineup already. Right. I mean, they're going to have, right off the bat, there's going to be like 2 live-action Star Wars shows. There's
I saw that, The Mandalorian. Okay.
Yeah, and that's being produced, or I think he might actually be the showrunner, but Jon Favreau.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So that's like big Hollywood director,
Iron Man fame. He's done a bunch of
Jungle
great stuff.
Book. He did that.
Okay, I forgot about that one.
Yeah, so really looking forward to that one. Sounds like it's like a focused on like a bounty hunter. I think it'd be pretty cool. One I'm like less excited about because I'm kind of like, why do we need this? There's a live action series focused on one of the characters from Rogue One.
Okay.
Diego Luna's character, he's like Cassian Andor or something. It's going to be like him and his like droid buddy from that movie.
Okay, it says it's a prequel to the film.
Could be interesting. I don't know. I mean, like I'll watch it, but
for sure.
Sure, why not? We give him a show. Whatever.
It looks like a Loki series is coming. Marvel.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I didn't even write this one down. That means there's 4 MCU series that there's going to be. So yeah, like you said, Loki, which Tom Hiddleston's coming back. All the actors actually are going to be in them. We have Falcon and Winter Soldier. So I guess it's going to be like a weird like buddy superhero thing.
Interesting.
And then WandaVision, which will be focused on Scarlet Witch and the Vision, and a Hawkeye series.
So these are television shows that are going to feature Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany?
Yeah.
That's freaking cool.
Yeah, like I wonder if they'd be more of like a mini-series type thing,
Probably, right. Yeah.
Like I wouldn't think that they'd have long seasons, like maybe like 8-10 episodes, but
Now I'm seeing here that every episode of The Simpsons will be available.
Yes. Okay. So literally, I was like, I saw that and I'm like, well, it's as if I wasn't gonna get this already, but yeah, all 30 seasons of The Simpsons, and you haven't been able to find it on a streaming service before.
Right. So I was a little worried that they were going to hold things back, which kind of makes sense to me, right? Instead of dump out a bunch of good content like these original series, but hold back a few things just so like, you know, every 3 months or so you're like, okay, now this is coming. I thought that they were going to go with that strategy, and maybe they are with some of their other stuff, because this is like an endless stream of content since they made those acquisitions of Fox.
Oh, yeah.
And
that's the thing, right? They have such a great back catalog right now, and it's like, unlike Netflix, they don't have to pay to stream their own content or to host it, right? You know, Netflix is, you know, historically had these expensive contracts with, you know, different producers. They paid $100 million for Friends, for God's sake. Like, you know, and so Disney's at a huge advantage here.
Okay, so do we know, has Disney said that they're going to have like third-party other companies' content on this?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. Yeah, I honestly feel like they don't need to. They have enough, like, you know, between all the channels they own, like all the like.
Do they own all the Fox films too?
There's
a key question.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of stuff there. I think they do.
Good chunk of them. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. So back catalog of that.
Crazy.
There's something else too, but yeah, I'd be worried if Netflix.
400 to 500 movies are expected to be available at launch.
Oh wow. Yeah, but is this going to be? I mean, you're getting this, right? I mean.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Day one for sure.
Yeah, and I know we've like, you know, complained about just how many streaming services there are and all that sort of stuff, but this one is just hitting a lot of. Hitting a lot of boxes.
Yeah,
you know?
This is one of the. If you're going to pick 2 or 3. This is obviously at the top of your list. Probably this and Netflix right now are the 2. Like if you're gonna have 2, these are probably the 2 to have.
Yeah.
And I would probably argue that this might be over Netflix right now. Like, what does Netflix have that you really need to watch?
I don't know. Like their original stuff. It's I guess it's like none of their original series. I'm not like insanely invested in them.
Yeah, I think Stranger Things is the only one for me that off the top of my head that I have to have.
Yeah. I mean, I really like some of the Netflix documentaries they do.
Yes, absolutely.
Really great stand-up specials. So
Netflix is still the king for stand-up.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, so I think there's room for both, but.
All right, well, do you want to stick with TV and slide right into TV and movies before we get into games this week?
Sure.
I don't have a whole lot on the TV end. I binge watched the first 3 episodes of Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
So Jordan Peele produced, I believe, and I don't know if you have any. Do you have any connection to the original Twilight Zone series?
Not a ton. Like I've watched some here and there, but I know it's super influential.
Right.
Yeah.
And kind of had a big influence on. Oh my god, another Netflix show, the technology-based episodes, one-off episodes. I always want to call it Altered Carbon.
Black Mirror.
Black Mirror.
Yes.
So heavily influenced Black Mirror. Yeah. So interesting that Twilight Zone got a reboot with Jordan Peele at the helm. So
it's been revived like a few times, right?
Yeah. So I think it's gone through several iterations, and I remember I think the show started in mid 50s, early 60s. But my dad and I used to watch it, and I think this was around the 80s. Now I can't remember if it was like an 80s iteration or if we were watching. I'm pretty sure it was. And him and I were kind of into it because I was probably 9 years old, and it was still kind of scary to me, I guess. So I'm really excited to let my dad know that the series is back. But Jordan Peele obviously has been killing it lately on the horror suspense side of things.
Yeah.
And the first 3 episodes were pretty strong. The first episode that led off, I believe, was the comedian episode. Really interesting. And each episode features stars. The guy from Dinesh from Silicon Valley stars in the first episode.
Yeah, Kamali Nanjiani.
Sure.
I know. I feel bad. I don't know how to pronounce the name.
And the next episode is, oh my god, I forget the guy's name. But remember stepbrothers. Remember his brother that that they hated. His brother's name Derek.
What? Okay, I know the actor's name. Well, he's Ben in Parks and Rec, right?
Yes.
Adam Scott.
Adam Scott. Yeah. Thank you. I know you're much better at names. So he's in the second episode, and
awesome.
A bunch of famous people kind of show up. So yeah, I mean, really strong first 3 episodes. I'm not going to say that they were as good. They weren't as good as Black Mirror episodes, in my opinion.
Okay.
But definitely a strong start that I would highly recommend people check out.
In terms of tone, because I know like Black Mirror, one of the reasons I've kind of not really sat down and watched it yet because I know it's gonna like kind of make me feel depressed and just like whatever about technology and just where we're heading.
There were very powerful episodes in Black Mirror that I didn't, I left like that. I think it was Asia Butterfield. Was that him in that pedophile episode?
I didn't watch it.
Oh, you didn't see that one?
No.
That was a very
I'm very episode. Like Black Mirror. I've watched like 1 or 2 episodes. Honestly,
God.
I know it's.
I am the biggest Black Mirror fan. There's a series on Netflix that I could not live without.
Right.
So yeah, no, not as powerful as some of that Black Mirror stuff or as dark.
Right.
The 3rd episode touched on like some racial stuff, and it was pretty interesting.
Okay.
But yeah, I highly recommend checking it out. It's on like I think CBS. I think it's a CBS show. So here in Canada, it's CTV, I believe. So you've got to watch it on their crappy TV type apps.
Okay.
But like it's not on Netflix or Crave or any of those, but definitely worth checking out.
Tracking down. Okay.
Anything else on the TV end, or do you want to get right into the big episode that's coming up tonight?
Oh yeah, Game of Thrones, baby.
Right.
Here we are.
So
Sunday.
Nick, for those of you that don't know, Nick is an expert on Game of Thrones. He knows.
No.
Well, compared to me,
Okay.
you know, you're pretty good with like knowing storylines, characters, and where they're at. We used to film a segment where we used to work each week, kind of breaking down what happened in the previous episodes.
Yeah. So, did we do like top 5 kind of moments, that sort of
stuff?
Right.
I think we did from each episode.
Yeah. So we did that for season 7, which was like 1.5 years ago.
Right.
More
Crazy.
than that. Yeah.
I know, it's been a long time.
Wow.
So let's break it down. The episode 1 airs tonight.
Yes.
You'll probably be seeing this a little bit later, but hearing if you're listening to the audio version of the podcast, hopefully the day of. So where are we at? So there's going to be I think 6 episodes, but longer episodes in this one.
Yeah. Each one is what is it? I think between hour and a half, closer to the 90-minute mark. I think might be even longer.
Okay.
Haven't been following that too closely. I'm just like, just give me the episodes.
I
don't care how long they are. Whatever. Okay. First off, we're gonna go, full spoilers for, season 7 of Game of Thrones here. So yeah, if you haven't caught up,
right? Because I totally forget what happened at the end.
Right. Yeah. So we're gonna be doing, a bit of a plot recap here, but okay. So heading into tonight's episode, I guess some of the big players we last saw, Jon Snow, Daenerys Targaryen. They're sailing back to Winterfell, because they know that the White Walkers are coming, right? But we got confirmation that Jon is Rhaegar Targaryen's son. Remember, that's Rhaegar is Daenerys' brother, like dead brother, right? He was he would have been heir to the throne or whatever, but he died back in like the war where Robert Baratheon became the king.
Okay, so did that mean that Jon is actually heir to the throne?
Yes.
Above.
Right, because because he's not a bastard either, because we saw that they actually got married. Like Rhaegar and then Ned Stark's sister Lyanna.
Okay.
And that he's their child, so he's a Targaryen and a Stark, and he's like a true born heir. And he doesn't know that, right? So he technically has a better claim to the throne than Daenerys, which, could be a conflict this season if they find out, because Bran knows. Because he's like the seer, he can see everything. And it's more awkward because they slept together. Which, incest isn't...
it's not as frowned upon.
Not in Game of Thrones. I mean, Cersei and Jaime, right? Brother and sister.
I mean, it is still frowned.
We're not endorsing.
But I mean, even on that show...
Yes, of course.
Like, it was still... It's not like a normal thing.
No, I mean... I think it's still frowned upon in that universe in terms of like, don't go sleeping around with your sister, your siblings, whatever. So I mean, this one, at least this one is one removed because
so it's like
Daenerys is his aunt, right? And they don't know, so it's like, hey, come on.
I just hope there's a moment where they find out and they look at each other and they go,
"Ooh!" Yeah, that's the opening of the episode. Oh,
Oh man, that'd be awesome.
You're my. Yeah. Gotta wash. Oh no. Anyway, yeah, okay. So that's awkward.
Was John? I forget. Was John able to convince those at King's Landing to join the fight? I forget where we left off.
So okay, so he convinced Cersei. She said, "Oh yeah, like we'll help. We'll put aside this," and then she revealed later to Jaime that she's gonna double cross them all. She's like, "No, I've sent what's his name, Euron Greyjoy, to the other, I don't know, to go get some mercenary army, so then she can come and like hit them from behind." So we have that conflict going, and then Jaime is actually, I think he's pretty much, sworn off his sister because he found that out, and he's like, "Whoa, what? Like you're gonna double cross them? Like no, I'm out of here." So he's theoretically going back to he's going to Winterfell to join kind of the fight of the living. He's kind of
joined their side.
Yeah. Okay. In terms of other major characters, I mean, everyone else is at Winterfell right now. And we saw the wall get destroyed.
Right.
By the Ice Dragon and the Night's King.
Right, okay.
So, some big stuff happened. There's still, like, those smaller storylines, too. Like, there's a thing with Theon going on where he has to rescue his sister, and...
I feel like I should have watched the last 3 episodes, and maybe I will. I have a little bit of time before. Tonight I might watch...
Okay. I only know this because I, like, read a, kind of a refresher, right? So, don't feel bad. I think I would have not known as much.
Like you said, it's been a year and a half, so...
Yeah.
Either way, I'm pumped for Game of Thrones to be back.
For sure.
Do you think that layoff was a smart move? I don't
think it's... I mean, I don't know about smart, but I don't think it's going to hurt them anyway. Okay. I think this is going to be, like, the ratings are going to be nuts.
Right. You're right, yeah. I was just like, did it really kind of... taking that long, did some people just kind of lose their enthusiasm a little bit?
I don't know.
And I guess I probably went through a phase where, like, I didn't think about it for months.
Hey, Game of Thrones fans are used to waiting if you're a book reader.
Right,
that's George R. Martin still hasn't got the 6th book out yet.
And we're well beyond
8 years.
We're well beyond the books right now. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I thought we'd get, hopefully that 6th book in between these seasons, but nope.
He's taking his time with that.
He's really... Sure. I don't think he's going to finish.
No,
I just don't think he's going to finish. He's 70.
Okay.
I don't know. He hasn't got this one.
Hopefully the next 10 years.
Hope so. But anyway, I thought this would be a fun exercise. I went back and found some of my predictions for season 8. I wrote these, after the finale back in 2017.
Okay.
So I thought I'd go through the list and maybe we can, talk about them. Like, do you think this could happen? Am I just like way off base here? Okay, so number 1, I said that, one of the remaining Stark children is going to die.
Ooh. I would...
There's always a good chance, I think, that someone's going to die, but...
Right.
So I'm talking like Bran, Sansa, or Arya.
I'm going to say yes to that.
Okay, who do you think?
I think it's going to be... I don't think it's going to be Arya. I think it's going to be Sansa or Bran.
I'm really, like, thinking a Sansa death. Like, I'm thinking... Like, that would land, like, guess. Pretty, like, hard, I think.
Yeah.
Arya's always putting herself in danger, so it's like if she dies, it's kind of like,
right,
makes sense. And
right. Okay, yeah, I'm going with Sansa.
Bran almost feels too, like, important.
Yeah, and I mean, like, at this point, can he die? Is he just, like,
yeah.
Can he just
if he dies, will he just be like, he'll be like the Game of Thrones equivalent of a Force ghost?
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. He's the 3-eyed raven or whatever.
For sure, if he dies, he'll, like, live on in some,
Yeah.
So let's go with Sansa there for me.
Sure. Okay. Next one, Jon will ride the other dragon.
Oh.
I think there's a good chance of this.
Wait, wasn't there already a shot of Jon holding on to what's her name with the dragon, Daenerys, or no?
Is that from like one of the trailers? I don't know. I haven't really
think that up.
Maybe.
I could have sworn I saw that.
I
could be wrong.
Well, when they rescued, remember, like she rescued them beyond the wall, so they got on the. Dragon,
okay, but you mean like manning another dragon?
Yeah, like because she rides the one dragon, right, Drogon, and then
I'm gonna say yes to that.
It makes sense, right? Because he's the other Targaryen, and also that dragon is named after his father.
Okay.
So
is the ice dragon still alive?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I mean it's dead, but right. It's,
oh right, yes.
Yeah.
Bad question.
That's stupid. That was so unnecessary for me to even say. Oh, well, it's dead. I mean, it's just like, well, is it moving? Yes. Is it doing things?
Yes, that's what. Okay, yeah. So we're gonna see a showdown between the 2 dragons against the ice dragon. Oh, that's pretty much gonna happen.
Like, I mean, the Night's King was like MVP of that last season. He throws a spear through the dragon, just kills it instantly, destroys. He's riding it like a boss. Like, but okay, are you with me with this? That I think this is going to be really cool, like this kind of showdown between like the living, the dead, that sort of stuff. But it's also like not the reason I think a lot of people fell in love with Game of Thrones. In terms of like, it's a big like
Good
fantasy,
Good
like
point.
he's kind of a boring villain still, even though he looks really cool, and stuff. But it's like it's not like he's uttering lines. Like it's like Joffrey and Ramsay, those kind of villains. It's like, they got under your skin, right?
Well, and we have we kind of lost what made Game of Thrones great in the beginning was like this like. Political stuff, backstabbing, you know, that was really interesting stuff, and now it's kind of divulged into this battle, like never-ending battle.
Yeah, like we still have a little bit of that in terms of, you know, Cersei like doing her thing down, like, and you know what, like, thank God for Cersei. Like, she's so like detestable, but Lena Headey is like, I think she's the best one in the cast in this. Like, she does she's great. So well.
Yeah. Did we lose something when Joffrey died? Like, I guess she kind of took that over, but you're right. You're just like, oh, you hate that guy so much, right? Like, I wonder if that Joffrey, the actor, will ever be able to move on from...
I don't know. Oh, man. Like, I just picture him getting punched in the face every day. Like, hey, this is for Sansa, man. Like, I don't know. It wasn't me. Yeah. I actually heard the story that apparently like when they were filming with like him and Sansa and stuff, like apparently he's just like the nicest guy, right?
Oh, really?
And so he'd like apologize to her, like Sophie Turner. He's just like, I'm sorry. You know, it's just like, anyway, now I'm gonna like slap you or something. Yeah. Like it's just it's interesting. But I know what you mean. I'm actually just I'm rewatching Game of Thrones from the early seasons right now because Hannah hasn't watched them somehow.
Oh, that's gonna be a problem.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, but she knows like what happens, so I think we're gonna like watch.
Just jump in.
But yeah, we're just gonna go ahead 5 seasons right now. We just finished season 2, but one of the things that stands out for me about
you had a year and a half to do this, Nick. You should have.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, I don't know. Well, we might be able to catch up like midway through this season.
Right.
You know. Yeah, we're on season 3 now, but yeah, the those early seasons are a lot more about the like, you know, political intrigue, the backstabbing, that sort of stuff. You know, the fantasy elements are off over here.
Yeah.
You know. I don't know. I think it'll be interesting. Oh crap! Well, I guess we had other predictions. I don't know. I don't really want to go through all of them, but
want to pick one more there?
Yeah, let me just see. I thought this one was cool, though. I don't really see it happening. Is that Arya will use Jaime's face to kill Cersei?
Ooh.
Yeah, you know, like that would be. It seems kind of convoluted.
My mind there for a second.
Right, you're like what?
Wait, he's going to take his face, but I forgot.
No, like let's say he dies, right? Like maybe in battle, whatever, right? And then.
Wait, are they actually using faces, or is it like some sort of magic thing?
No, like I think they actually use faces from like dead people. Okay. Yeah, but somehow it turns into. I mean, we saw it in the last season where she like was using like the face of one of the Freys, and she looked like someone completely different, and she like takes it off, and she's like. No, it's me. You're dead.
Okay. I just wasn't sure if they actually use the dead person's face.
Okay. Yeah. They're not just like rubber faces they're making. Yeah, they're actual faces. Which, but
that'd be cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of theories that Jaime will be the one that kills Cersei. But
yeah, I mean, I see Jaime. You know, he's a sympathetic character, and he's kind of made that turn. And you know, he's been somebody that they've been building up as like, you know, you want to like this character. So I think there's something coming up where Jaime, you know, does the right thing and does something for the good guys, I guess, or even if that's just like, you know, being there when they need him type thing. And,
right. Yeah. He's had like definitely an interesting, I think, redemption arc.
He's actually one of my most interesting characters in this show.
Definitely.
So
yeah, I really want Tyrion to do some cool stuff this season too. I feel like he's been wasted the past couple seasons. Yeah, he hasn't really been doing much. I don't know.
Again, he was so vital in those early seasons with the political stuff.
Yeah, all the stuff with his dad, like how his dad's like, I hate you, and all everyone, his sister, I hate you, that sort of stuff. So, what was the other one? I didn't write it down here, but do you think like it could end with like the White Walkers just winning? Like, do you think? I mean, I know that wouldn't be satisfying, but it could be like that Game of Thrones style ending. Like we're used to there being like. You know, things not going the way we think. Right?
That'd be cool.
Guys,
I don't think. Yeah, I don't think it'll happen. But I mean, I like when movies end without, you know, tying it up and the good guys win. I'm okay with that.
It's just a blizzard, and that's just the way it ends.
That's just
it.
Like,
they just get fade to black.
Or right, they're all ready for the battle. They got everybody, and it's just like slaughtered, dead.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. That's what's supposed to happen. Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Been a while.
Kind of snuck up on me. I was like,
I know.
Oh, is this the weekend? I was like, oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah, Sunday. I had to get HBO again just to you know, just so I can watch this tonight.
Yeah, that's always fun.
Yeah.
Anything else TV that you want to touch on, or do?
Not really. For TV, no.
Okay. What about movies? Did you see anything since the last time we met?
I really haven't. It's more been I should see this. I've really wanted to watch Shazam, which I understand you have seen.
Yes. So I saw Shazam. It's great. Yeah, like really, really good. And
good things.
I hadn't heard much about it. I mean, I had heard that it was getting good reviews. So I went into the film knowing very little. So I went and watched it, and I really enjoyed it. And so what I like to do, I love the guys from Red Letter Media. I don't know if you ever watched.
I've watched those like the legendary Plunkett reviews or whatever.
He does the Star Wars ones are very famous.
So prequels.
So they do reviews of movies. It's usually 2 of them. And I was actually surprised at how, because there's not a lot that they love.
Right.
They love this movie, and they were saying it's one of the best comic book films in the past 10 years. A lot of comparisons to Sam Raimi type comic book movies.
Okay.
That kind of cheese that works, cheesy comedy that doesn't feel forced. It just kind of works. It makes it an enjoyable experience.
It's a fine line for comic book movies, comic book media. I think the the Flash TV show, that sort of stuff. I think it's good, but I do think it goes a little too in that cheesy direction sometimes, where you're Yeah. But that interests me that this actually nails it, because it feels to me that it's a comic book movie that is geared towards a younger crowd, but that really works. Is that kind of accurate?
Yeah, so it's PG-13, which was a little interesting. Apart from a few moments in the film that were, even me, we've mentioned many times, I let my boys watch quite a bit. There was a few moments that I was just guys getting their heads bit off. One guy getting thrown out a window out of a skyscraper, just tossed right out. And I just
borderline.
For me, it's cut out a couple more swear words, because I think with PG, you're allowed.
You're allowed one F word. I think.
That's why I always thought it was funny that in that they say shit in Transformers, the movie. Right. The cartoon one. This is so random.
Oh, yeah.
But they're hey, let's use our one swear word. It's what? And as a kid, you're did he just say that? I'm trying not to swear, because I'm trying to keep this, my channel still clean.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, okay. Shazam, really fun. Not a really high budget film. A lot of the film takes place, I'm actually going to check right now, but it really felt like it looked like Toronto.
It reminds me almost of that Chronicle movie a bit in terms of the way it's shot or something. It feels almost this handheld kind of movie or something.
A little bit.
This scrappy production or something. Yeah.
Definitely a lower budget film typically that they've been doing with DC, less budget. There was jokes made by the Red Letter Media guys that they had blown their budget on all the sea creatures in Aquaman. So
my god, that's so yeah.
So shot in Toronto and Hamilton, just down the road from us. They were it's supposed to be Philadelphia. God forbid they ever make a movie in Canada and let it be Canada, except for Scott Pilgrim.
Why would you ever be in Toronto? Yeah. Fun things to do in Toronto.
It's funny because I'm watching. I'm this sure looks like that. That looks like Toronto. And it was,
I walk down that street all the time.
It works. They didn't need. There's plenty of special effects, but a lot of it takes place in I guess I can say it's not a big spoiler. It takes place in a carnival thing. Where they're just using this carnival as the backdrop for the end kind of battle. Nothing too elaborate, but it really works. Shazam as a character I knew nothing about, other than the fact that I believe it used to be Captain Marvel, right?
Yeah, that whole confusing thing. Yeah, I think he was actually the original Captain Marvel.
Yeah, and then Marvel sued them in the 70s or 80s to get the use of that name, I believe.
Because from what I understand, Shazam is the wizard or the force or whatever that gives him the power, and then he identified as Captain Marvel. But now it's become more the character's name is Shazam.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's weird.
Great performances. I'm trying to...
Yeah, you like Zachary Levi in that lead role?
Was he the...
He's Shazam. He's
the
older?
Adult,
in the costume. Yeah.
So I thought he did a really good job.
I love him in Chuck. I don't know if you ever watched that show.
I don't know. No,
oh, okay.
I wasn't sure where he was from.
Yeah,
he didn't even look really familiar
thing.
to me.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because he's jacked in this, and maybe he wasn't before. I don't
know.
No,
he wasn't. I don't think.
So he did a good job of portraying somebody who was an adult, but actually is a 14-year-old kid. Right. And there's actually there's a reference to Big. It's not.
Yes.
There's a
I was just gonna ask. I'm like,
and I didn't even notice. So I noticed it.
Yeah.
But it was so quick and so brief, and I thought it was gonna go longer. I'm like, I said to my wife, I'm like, this is gonna be good. But they really was just a quick little thing and it was over.
Was it like the machine at the carnival? Like, did you see one of those or something?
No. I won't say. I'll let you guys experience that. You have to know Big, or you might not even.
I mean, I haven't seen it for a while, so there's a good chance that I'll miss it.
Big is such a good movie. Did you ever see Vice Versa, which is like also like Big?
No.
I forget who was in that. Judd Reinhold, maybe? Is that his name?
Judge Reinhold?
Oh. Judge, yeah.
Maybe.
Anyways, very similar film.
Okay.
Good movie too. Not as good as Big. Big's a great movie. But yeah, Shazam. I don't know what else to say about it. I really enjoyed it.
How is the villain? Because it's Mark Strong, I think.
Yeah. The villain was actually good. There was a pretty good backstory to how he became the villain that tied in with Shazam. I'm trying to say this without spoiling it.
Sure.
No, yeah, the villain actually was set up quite well.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a great movie. Go see it. I think it's doing quite well in the theaters.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's killing it like some of the Marvel movies have, but
maybe by DC standards, it's a little better.
Right. It looks like it's done 220 already. But I mean, the whole DC thing's kind of gone out the window with Aquaman just making so much money.
Well, yeah, and okay, so without spoiling anything, are there ties to that kind of like larger DC universe in this, or is it really just this like standalone sort of thing?
There's no ties other than the fact that those characters exist in this world.
Okay.
So there's mentions.
Gotcha. Okay.
And a couple other little things, but no real ties into.
Yeah. This seems to be DC's strategy now. Is they're more going for these like independent sort of movies. I mean, we have that Joker movie coming out later, and it's like I'm not expecting we're going to see Batman in it. You know, maybe he'll be mentioned. I don't know.
So go see Shazam. What did you? I want to actually ask you about that. What did you think of that Joker trailer that came out?
I guess it came out in the last 2 weeks. I mean, it's been a while. I really liked it.
Yeah, I liked it, but it's almost like I'm starting to view this as something that's separate from, like you just said, something that's totally separate, right? Like I've almost like separated the whole Batman thing, and to me, it's like it's the Joker, but like it's basically Taxi Driver.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's just descent into madness.
Yeah, it's confusing, right? Because we still.
Like, I think it'd be a cool movie without the name Joker. You know what I mean? Like,
I see. Yeah, just more about this comedian who kind of goes nuts and starts like going to. Yeah, I think for sure. If it didn't have the DC ties, it could be. Yeah, it kind of makes it. It's a little more problematic because we. I think they're still making another Joker movie that's more about like Jared Leto's Joker, or at least he'll be featured in Suicide Squad, which doesn't make any sense because I'm like, is it? I don't know if it's the same character.
So last I heard that they're just doing a new Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
And like it's the same name, they're just redoing
James Gunn's doing it, right? He's doing Guardians of the Galaxy and Suicide Squad too.
Crazy.
Yeah. Oh man, I don't know. I kind of like this DC thing they're doing now. Like it felt like, Justice League really kind of broke them and they're like, all right, we're doing something different here.
Right.
So yeah, I guess we'll see. It sounds like I think they're still doing like a new Batman movie or whatever. It's going to be like a younger Batman because Ben Affleck isn't coming back, so I wonder if that'll have any ties to this Joker movie, or if this is like a one and done sort of thing. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it'd be kind of a cool way to reveal the new Batman if he just like made a bit of a cameo.
Yeah,
that'd be kind of cool.
Because it's odd doing a Joker origin movie with an actor who's older, like Joaquin Phoenix. Right?
Yeah.
Which I think it's a great casting choice. Like I love Joaquin Phoenix. I think he's a great actor. So that's kind of my main pull in this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else on the movie side? You said you didn't see really a whole lot, right?
No. I've got a couple games on the playlist.
Awesome.
We can move into the video games.
What have you been playing?
Okay, so I wanted to talk briefly about Elder Scrolls Blades. So I downloaded it this week because I kind of remembered that it existed. So this is, Bethesda's
I have no idea what this is.
Okay. Okay, so when they revealed it at E3 last year, Todd Howard was up there saying, okay, hey, this is a a pure Elder Scrolls experience, you know, but it's in mobile form, and you know, playing it's a pile of crap. It's a like just one of the most like egregious uses of like microtransactions I've ever seen. It's just constantly about like, okay, so like the core, I mean, even the core game is kind of boring. Like it feels like you're just going through corridors, just, you know, tapping stuff to pick it up. The battle system is pretty boring and just, you know, hand to hand things where you just trade blows, whatever.
Sorry, I missed this. Are you playing on your mobile? You're playing this on your
playing
mobile?
on your phone, yeah. Okay. You can play it in portrait mode, which is kind of cool. Like
do you play much on your phone?
Not really.
Okay.
But I was just curious, right? Because I'm like, okay, Elder Scrolls Blades. Like, okay, let's see if it's really like a pretty compelling RPG. But it's all based around, you know, getting loot, right? And but everything's on a timer. You know, you get the chests and you have to wait hours to, you know, open them or pay the freaking currency to do it. And even when you pick up the trash chests, it's like a 5-second wait, just to like annoy you enough, right? So if you have like a bunch of them stacked,
so is there a way to pay that you
pay access? Like 1 gem to like skip the 5-second thing, and it's just like, I don't know, like what's going on with Bethesda?
Yeah,
you know, like I'm kind of worried about Elder Scrolls 6 now. I mean, Fallout 76 was
what a nightmare
awful,
that was.
And it's like, it's the same situation where I feel like they're releasing these games only to, you know, come back later and be like, look, we fixed things. Because already they've added an update to Elder Scrolls Blades there. It's like, look, this chest that took 3 hours, it only takes an hour now. Mm-hmm. And it's like, look at what we're doing. We listened to you. Where it's like Fallout 76, same thing. Oh, we listened to you guys.
Yeah,
and it's like,
it feels like they're always playing catch up instead of releasing a product that people love.
Yeah, it's like you only have a chance to, like, one chance to make a first impression. Right. And, like, I don't know. Like, they've just turned, like, they're like every other stupid big publisher now. Yeah. I don't know. That's just, Elder Scrolls Blades.
Don't bother.
Freaking trash. I don't know. I don't know why you would pay money for this. Like, even like me just going through it, I'm like, this game isn't compelling enough for me to want to, you know?
No, they catch people, right? Like, but like you said, the game has to be compelling enough to hit that button to spend a little bit of money.
And it's not. It's like, well, just go play Elder Scrolls. It's on every other... I mean, Skyrim, it's on every device. Yeah. I'm surprised it's not on phone, to be honest, but you can go play it on Switch. Like, I don't know.
Well, I have been playing something on the Switch.
I've been playing better stuff, too. I had to get that
one. Get that out? Yeah. So I've been playing SteamWorld Quest on the Nintendo Switch.
Ooh, okay.
So this is the RPG version of the kind of the SteamWorld themed and universe. Mm-hmm. I was a massive fan of SteamWorld Dig 2. I think I rated it like a top 3 game for me in, was that 2017? Yes. I believe. So I've played. So I also got SteamWorld. So there's SteamWorld Dig, and then there's SteamWorld. Oh man, what is the name of their other one?
Oh, is there another one?
Yeah, it's like a tactical game. Oh jeez, I can't remember the name of it. Anyways, SteamWorld Quest is the RPG version. Pretty interesting RPG. So turn-based RPG. It's a really great art style. You start off with 2 characters. So it's kind of like a side-scrolling RPG. So it's almost like a side-scrolling beat-em-up, but the battles are in turn-based RPG form. And there's an interesting twist on the battle system is card-based. So when I first saw it, I was a little bit scared off because I'm not a big card game player guy.
You're not a Magic dude.
Right. But the only thing that the cards really do is the attacks are in card form. So you build a deck. So say you have an attack, a heal, and like a defense move. So they're just in card form. So you get 8 right now. At least my deck is 8, and you can kind of determine. You'll get a hand. So I can determine if I want 4 out of my 8 attacks slots, we'll say, or hand, to be attacks. Mm-hmm. So then I get a better chance of drawing that attack card. You know what I mean?
No,
so you can basically kind of determine your chances on what actions you're able to do, which I actually really enjoyed. It kind of mixed up the traditional turn-based RPG battle system for me. I think it's coming out on the 20th or something like that. So I'll have more of a review next episode. Yeah. I think I'm 2 or 3 hours in now, so it's kind of been building up a lot of story stuff, but really enjoyed it so far. Hats off to the guys. I think it's Image and Form is the company that makes these SteamWorld games.
That sounds correct.
Yes. And like I said, I love SteamWorld Dig 1. SteamWorld Dig 2 is one of my favorites. And SteamWorld, whatever the name of that other game is a little bit different.
Man, these guys are killing it.
Yeah, they really are.
Yeah.
I hope this game...
Just from that description, like, I want to check this out.
SteamWorld Heist was the other one.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, SteamWorld Quest, like I said, I've got to play a bit more. So I can't really give it a full recommendation yet. But, you know, just judging off their previous work, it should be a very good game.
Awesome.
Anything else that you've been playing?
Yeah, I got a chance to try out Baba Is You.
Oh, right. I've heard of this.
Yeah.
Puzzle type game?
Yeah, so it's on the Switch, which...
Right.
Already, boom, right there. Yeah. You know, little lower priced. I think it was $18 Canadian, around there. Yeah, I didn't really know much about this game going in. I just saw like it getting really good reviews, and actually they talked about it a bit on Kotaku Split Screen, and they were really going into it, and it sounded just interesting, like from the concept. So very different kind of puzzle game.
So I love puzzle games, but I feel like I like traditional puzzle games like Tetris and Luminous. Is it?
No.
Like
okay, so. Okay, I think it's going to be a little bit hard to describe, so I'll see if I can.
I'll try and look up.
Maybe like if you look at kind of like a screenshot or something of it, or it might make more sense. But
right, so I've seen this like real retro art.
But yeah, really retro. So it's each puzzle is like a a top down screen where you're controlling this character. Like you start out with the character named Baba is like this weird bunny or something. And each stage revolves around kind of fulfilling win conditions.
Okay, so is it kind of like a if this then that sort of
thing?
Okay.
Actually that's a good way to say it. It's like a logic puzzler.
Right.
So it actually has all the rules for the stage written out in like a physical text form in each one.
Interesting.
Let's say really basic one would be like Baba is you, flag is win, rock is push or something like that, and a wall is I don't know like solid or whatever, meaning like you can't go through it, right?
Okay.
And so you can actually push the words around to make something else go. You could say like wall is I don't know, something to be like you can go through it, and then you can walk, like whatever, right? And you can walk through the wall. So it's all about changing the rules. And it just gets, more complicated as you go. But it's like, man, you really got to, like, think differently, right? It's like every game you play, it has these, like, rules that are in place, but they're never, like, explicitly, shown on screen. Whereas this one, it's the rules are right there, but you're literally moving them around to kind of fit how you want to do it. And I feel like there's multiple ways almost to, like, finish a stage. At least I get that sense. Like it could be just the way that it's done makes you feel like, oh, you've found one of the ways around it, or like you tricked the game or something. But so I've only played about like 10 to 15 stages so far. I think the last one I just kind of stopped because I got stuck for a bit, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll come back to it. But it's really cool. I've never played a puzzler like this.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely something I should probably check out. Right when it came out, a couple people at work were like, hey, did you play this game? And I saw the art style, and I had been playing Undertale?
Yeah.
Undertale. Undertale, and I was like, oh, it's kind of a similar art style. So I don't know if that kind of like put me off a bit. I was just like, I'm not in the mood for more of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, then I kind of didn't hear much about it, so yeah, so you would definitely give that one a recommend, eh?
Yeah, I think you would enjoy it.
Yeah, for $18, like it sounds like a pretty good.
Yeah, and just like a different kind of puzzle experience, right?
Did you see that Hellblade came to the Switch?
Yeah, have you checked it out?
I did. I watched a graphical. I haven't played it.
Okay.
I watched a graphical comparison between the Switch version and PS4, and was blown away at how well they were able to transfer that game to the Switch.
Wow.
So I never finished it. I don't think you did either.
No, I didn't.
So I don't know if I'm going to wait for it to drop a little bit, just because I'm playing other big games right now. But yeah, really pumped to actually play that on the Switch, because we've talked about it before, I think on a previous podcast, that we both loved that game.
Oh, for sure. But the thing is, though, like, do you have a good pair of headphones that you can go for the Switch? Okay, see, I don't, so I wouldn't want to. I feel like this is a game you have to play with headphones.
Absolutely. You're right, yep. With the little voices and stuff.
Yeah.
So I mentioned I'm playing some big games right now.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Right.
Jeez.
So the biggest thing that
here,
I'm playing right now is shout out to PlayStation Canada, and for sending a code over for Days Gone.
Yes.
Now I think we actually touched on last episode that it wasn't really on our radar.
No, not in like a big way. Like
right.
I think it's one of those games we've been kind of looking forward to, but we're not like super excited about it. It's like, oh, mostly because it's a Sony first party game. It's like, yeah, cool. That'll probably be good.
So I can't say my thoughts on the game yet. I'm under a review embargo, but it's definitely on my radar now. And I don't think it's what we thought.
Right.
Like we were kind of talking about how maybe we were a little bit fatigued on the whole zombie thing.
Yeah.
How would I compare this game? I would say if you need, in between The Last of Us 1 and 2, if you need something like that to kind of scratch that itch while you're waiting, I think this may be the game.
Really?
Yeah, so
I'm intrigued.
Really great story, kind of story-driven game that I'm definitely in on the story.
Okay.
I don't know how much else I can say.
I know.
I will be doing a full review on this game. They were nice enough to send over a press kit for the game as well.
Oh.
Which I posted too early and had to take down.
Oh no.
I didn't see
slap on the wrist. Or...
Yeah, I didn't see. They let me know. They're like, "Hey, this isn't until tomorrow." I was like, I was all excited. I'm like, "Oh, look how cool this is!" So yeah, I have to be careful with what I say.
Gotta read the fine details.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So I will have like a full breakdown on Days Gone. I'll just say this: it's a game that I'm going to finish before the review date. So
awesome.
That should be enough to tell you.
Okay. Is that like because it's not a long game?
Well, I mean, I've heard that it's around 30 hours.
Okay.
Which for me is like the sweet spot.
Yeah.
You know, we've talked before about getting locked into these 100-hour games that like I just lose interest in. You know, like Kingdom Hearts, I haven't even gone back to, and for sure. I don't know if I will.
Yeah.
I like the 25 and maybe 40s pushing it hour experience. Like I feel like that's kind of how long God of War was.
God of War was like too long for me.
Yeah,
I felt like it could have been a little
shorter. It dragged on a bit towards the end.
Yeah,
and yeah, from what I remember, it almost felt like they were kind of padding it a little bit. But yeah, it's a game that I will have done. Definitely by the next episode, and I will go heavy into this game, and I'll be doing a full review on my YouTube channel.
Oh man, looking forward to that. When does it come out? I
believe it's. I think it's the 26th.
Okay. Oh man. Well, that's great.
Yeah, it's done by. So I wanted to quickly mention it's done by Sony Ben Studio, who haven't done a whole lot.
They've been working on this one for a while.
Yeah. So the last thing that they did was. Uncharted Golden Abyss.
Oh, I love that game.
On the Vita.
On the Vita. Yeah.
So they're most known for the Siphon Filter series, which I think I just happened to mention last episode that could use like a reboot. Some of these Sony franchises. They also did the portable version of Resistance Retribution, or of Resistance, the Retribution game that was decent. So yeah.
Yeah, I feel like they've never had like a huge hit, right?
I mean the Siphon Filter games were pretty big back in the day. It looks like they did all of them on PS1. So
they did the PSP ones too, right?
Yes. Yeah. It looks like I think they did all of them.
Oh, okay. Oh.
So yeah, I'll have like I said, full review. Yeah. Have you been playing anything else that you wanted to mention? Or
yeah, I'll just briefly touch on this because it's just kind of whatever. I'm just playing this game to sort of like fill the time because I wasn't sure what else to play. It's kind of a weird time right now for releases because I feel like we're kind of in between big ones because I finished up Devil May Cry 5 and I guess I finished Devil May Cry 5
and I bought Devil May Cry 5.
Oh, you did? I guess you haven't started it yet.
No, I haven't got it yet. It was on sale. Walmart had a pretty good sale, so it was $50.
Yeah.
What else? I bought something else with it. $50 for that. Oh, Ace Combat 4 on the PS4. Just because I heard it was so amazing for VR.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
Anyways.
Cool. So I started playing Borderlands 2. Funny enough. With the hope that I was gonna play it with one of my buddies in co-op because I never really got a chance to do that very much, and we haven't been able to like nail down like a night to play yet. But I've just been kind of starting it out solo. It was like on the Handsome Collection was on pretty cheap on PS4. It was on sale like last week or something, so I was like, screw it, I'll pick it up. it's just like, okay, with Borderlands, I really don't like the tone of it that much, and I kind of like the art style, but like things like Claptrap and stuff, he bugs the hell out of me, and I don't really like its sense of humor. And I realize a lot of people do, and that's totally great if you're into that. But I think I really like the core gameplay though, like the core gameplay loop of it. You know, this cool like loot shooter where everything's sort of randomized, so you never know like what you're gonna pick up next.
Yeah.
And I think it's cool. Like the shooting's fun, the kind of character abilities are neat. Yeah, so it's just kind of like my fill the void game right now.
Right, and maybe are you hoping that it kind of gets you excited for 3? Because we talked about last week that we were just kind of like, meh.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little better about 3 now because I feel like if I get in on it early, it'll be cool to like be like that. Because with Borderlands, I've always gotten into it like way too late. You know, with this game, like I started it up like years ago, and I never really got that far into it. So I feel like I've never really seen the like late game stuff where it gets really cool. You know, I kind of wish I had like played it to really know. About the whole conversation and have like a first-hand experience around that. You know, just briefly, did you read that Kotaku piece on Anthem?
I didn't read it. I heard a little bit about it.
Oh man,
I heard it was a really good piece that kind of shed light on what's been going down at BioWare specifically.
Yeah, as had a lot of problems there. Yeah.
Well, I know that the last two BioWare products have not been well received.
Yeah, but I think it makes like apparently with Anthem. You remember that E3. The first E3 they showed it, which was actually I think the one we went to was like E3 2017 or something.
Okay.
That's like when Anthem, they had that like cool video of them like flying around. Yep. Some people were like, wow, this game is cool. Like that was like basically a proof of concept at that point. They didn't have that game together. Like it was just they threw that together and then they're like, crazy. I guess this is the game we're making now. And they had less than 2 years to do it. So that's why it really has been, I know.
That's crazy.
What an awful way to make a game because they could not move the release date. That was the thing. It's like EA's like, you have to release something by the end or like end of March or whatever. 2019, so you know, and they had some really originally the game was supposed to be like you and like buddies like on a planet like surviving against crazy elements because it was like something like the gravitational pull brings in like tons of stuff from around it. I'm like, that sounds cool. No, it's like 11,000 word piece. So
Jason Schreier, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who probably the best games reporter in the business. Yeah, I don't know if you ever read his book.
No, I heard about it.
It feels like a chapter from that. Like I think it probably will be a chapter in his next book.
Yeah.
But, and it was interesting because EA and BioWare released a statement like 10 minutes after the post went up being like, hey, we don't think, you know, we're proud of our developers and we don't think this is the right way to go about it, you know, targeting people and sort of stuff. And they never even read the piece.
Oh, jeez.
You know, because he warned them beforehand. He's like, hey, would you guys want to comment on this? This is what I'm going to be reporting on. Here's like some of the main points of what it is. And they're like, no, we're not going to.
Yeah, I got to go read that.
Yeah. And he's written another one that I haven't read yet about something about Dragon Age 4 and kind of with the development of that and how that's going. It's not out yet. I think that's like their next project.
That's BioWare too, right?
Yep.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
I know.
BioWare's getting hit hard. Is BioWare still based out of Edmonton?
That's their main office, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think they have part of an office in Montreal too. I think
so.
The building that I went to,
I
went to go see Battlefield. I thought they had a BioWare section office there.
It really illuminated to just the stress that the employees were under, you know, working just day and night on this. Lots of people taking, you know, stress leave of like months even.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think it goes back to, you know, I think brought this up a few times about, you know, developers really don't have like a lot of rights when it comes to their work. You know, it's like one of those industries that, man, I'd be nervous to get into, like, you know, working in that. Like, you never know, like, if you make a game, you're just going to be laid off. Like, I don't...
Yeah, that's been happening a lot.
Yeah.
Like
especially at the big places.
Kind of
Yeah, but... Yeah, I know BioWare, like, I love the Mass Effect series. The last Dragon Age was great. Really hope they, you know, implement some fixes in that company. Yeah.
All right, well, I think that's all of our time that we have this week. Like I said, stay tuned for next week. We'll have my thoughts on Days Gone, and we'll be able to go heavy into 2 episodes of Game of Thrones.
I think it'll be... Oh, yeah, 2. Right, because we'll be right before the 3rd episode, I guess. Yeah, I'm looking forward to...
Yeah, let us know if you enjoyed the Game of Thrones talk. I know that this is typically a video game first podcast, and we talk about TV and movies as well. But let us know your feedback, because we can go, if we want, we can do a bi-weekly discussion of Game of Thrones. I know most of the viewers are watching it, so
yeah. I mean, this show is really just talking about the things we've been consuming and what we're looking forward to.
We're gonna talk about Game of Thrones,
yeah.
But if you want us to go deep in Game of Thrones,
for sure, yeah. And it's like, and maybe if everyone hated that, and it's like, hey, no, talk more about video games. Right. Maybe we'll decrease that a bit.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
And garage sale season's coming up. So by the time I see you next week, we should have been out at least for 1 or 2 garage sales.
I really want to come along with you in one of these. I think it would be cool. I want to see.
For sure, let's do that. And maybe we can add. Maybe you can add like a segment to this episode where you come.
Yeah, or I would even like to do something where we go over some of your garage sale pickups. Have a little segment. I think that'd be cool.
Well, I've been meaning to shoot a series of videos on my YouTube channel forever now, where I go through like the ultimate garage sale tips, but people have been asking me to do that for years, but I just
that's a good piece of content right there. Yeah, you gotta get that going.
Anyway, so that may happen. But nice. Thank you so much for joining us for episode 11 of the Screen Therapy Podcast. As always, you can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, the Google Play Store, and Spotify. Pretty much all you need to do is Google the Screen Therapy Podcast, or look it up on whatever podcast platform you're using. We are on all of them. If you're watching the video version of this on my YouTube channel, do us a big favor and head over and subscribe to the audio version. We can track views of the YouTube channel, but we're always trying to get our listens up on the audio side too. So thank you guys so much for joining us, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Go Leafs, go!